This is the Daily Alpha for Saturday, April 25th, 2026. OpenAI just shipped GPT 5.5 with NVIDIA-backed inference economics that are 35 times cheaper. NVIDIA's Vera Rubin platform is in production. And the stock printed its first record high since October. Anthropic shipped Opus 4.7 with a security-grade Mythos preview held back from the public. Elon Musk's SpaceX has swallowed xAI and is now circling a $60 billion cursor takeover. And DeepSeek dropped V4. Let's get into it. OpenAI has shipped GPT 5.5, and the most important number isn't on the model card. It's the inference cost. OpenAI's distribution lead, ChatGPT, Codex, and the AP already dwarfs every competitor. The question for the past year has been whether margins can scale with usage. GPT 5.5 rolled out to Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise users on April 23rd, with API availability the following day. NVIDIA disclosed an enterprise deployment offering roughly 35 times cost reduction per million tokens. ChatGPT Images 2.0, released April 21st, hit number 1 on the Image Arena leaderboard within 12 hours. If you are long the AI applications layer, this is your green light. Lower inference cost flows directly to gross margin for every wrapper, every copilot, every agent platform built on top. Watch OpenAI's enterprise revenue print next quarter. That's where the super app thesis gets validated. NVIDIA has officially opened the Rubin era, and the stock just printed its first record high since October. Rubin is the platform investors have been waiting for. 336 billion transistors, 50 petaflops per GPU, 288 gigabytes of HBM4 memory. 7 new chips are now in full production for second half 2026 deployment. CoreWeave is planning to deploy Vera CPU racks in the back half of the year. Rubin powers pre-training, post-training, test time scaling, and real-time agentic inference. Shares closed Friday at $208.26, up 4.3% on a broad semi-rally. NVIDIA still controls the binding constraint of the AI economy: leading-edge compute. The Rubin supply chain, TSMC packaging, HBM4 memory, networking silicon, is where the next 12 months of alpha lives. Watch CoreWeave's deployment cadence. That tells you whether the $8.3 billion raised by chip startups this year finds traction. Anthropic shipped Claude Opus 4.7 this week, but the more interesting story is what they didn't ship. Anthropic has been selling a different bet from OpenAI: model quality plus security, not just distribution. Today's news lands on both axes. Opus 4.7 went generally available across Claude, the API, Bedrock, Vertex, and Foundry, with sharp gains on long-running coding tasks and higher resolution vision. Claude Design launched in research preview. Managed agents rolled out for hosted long-horizon workloads. The headline they buried, Claude Mythos Preview, was deliberately withheld from general availability and routed to a handful of cybersecurity partners under Project Glasswing. CEO Dario Amodei met the White House Chief of Staff and the Treasury Secretary about it. Anthropic's enterprise pricing power is now real, and Amazon's $25 billion follow-on confirms it. Watch for an IPO timeline. Markets are increasingly assuming a listing within 12 months. Bloomberg confirmed this week that SpaceX has acquired xAI and is now circling a $60 billion cursor takeover. This is a tell. Even with Grok 4.1 and the new voice APIs, xAI's own engineers have reportedly been quietly using Claude for technical work. SpaceX now holds an option to either pay $10 billion for collaboration with Cursor or acquire the coding startup outright for $60 billion later this year. Separately, Cursor is in talks to raise $2 billion at a $50 billion plus valuation, co-led by Andreessen Horowitz. And Grok is facing global regulatory probes over alleged AI-generated explicit content. If you own AI coding tooling, public or private, this is the consolidation cycle. The premium for distribution-locked coding agents just reset higher. GitHub, JetBrains, and the next tier of startups all reprice off this. Watch which way Cursor jumps. That sets the ceiling for the entire category. DeepSeek is back. V4 Flash and V4 Pro shipped in preview yesterday. Every time DeepSeek ships, US AI valuations wobble. Last year's V3 release took 30% off the AI complex in a single session. This drop is calmer, but the architecture is more interesting. V4 introduces what DeepSeek calls a hybrid attention architecture, claiming top-tier coding benchmark performance and a step change in long context memory. DeepSeek branded V4 as, quote, the most powerful open-source platform. Tencent has reportedly proposed a stake of up to 20% in a funding round at a $20 billion valuation, with Alibaba also at the table. China's open-source AI stack is now structurally cheaper, structurally improving, and globally accessible. That's margin pressure on closed US labs and a tailwind for any business willing to deploy open weights. Watch the Tencent close. It confirms whether China's hyperscalers are coalescing around DeepSeek the way US capital coalesced around OpenAI. Today's theme: capability is no longer the bottleneck. The new battlegrounds are inference cost, distribution, and power supply. With the EU AI Act going fully live on August 2nd and Gartner pegging 2026 AI spend at $2.5 trillion, the structural tailwind isn't done. If this briefing sharpened your edge, hit subscribe and follow at the Daily Alpha. This is the Daily Alpha.